When we talk about physical restore, so a bare metal recovery, I want to talk about a little bit about ActiveImage Boot Environment Builder. This is the tool which is included in the software to create your recovery environment. So at the first page, you need to decide between Windows-based or Linux-based environment. So first of all, the Windows-based has slightly more features. So if you want to restore in Windows-based server, for example, of course, choose the Windows-based recovery environment. Then you have an auto selection, which allows you to enter a product key or not. The only difference is without a product key, you can't do a backup with the recovery environment. That's the only difference. Since you have the product purchased in first place, so just enter the license you have already, and then you have the boot environment with the possibility to do backups. Everything else, recovery is never required a license in this scenario. So now you can choose optical media, but I don't think this is used at all. The most common, I think, is a USB stick or an ISO file, which can be shared on a PA6E boot, for example, in a network. This is the typical scenario for the bare metal recovery environment. So let's go next. And now you can choose the based recovery environment. So you can use the built-in Windows RE environment, which is the small bootable environment from Microsoft. This is fine. You can keep the default setting in this case and go next. But additionally, depending on your needs and environment, you can also install Microsoft ADK, which is a free tool from Microsoft. But as mentioned, it's not required. You can go with the built-in from Microsoft, so no additional software needs to be installed. And then go next. And now you can inject drivers to your recovery environment to have these drivers in place. But this is not required. You can just live load drivers after recovery environment is started on the hardware, because depending on the environment, you have new RAID drivers, for example, required to see the RAID volume. And in this scenario, it's not necessary to add the drivers here. You can load them later without any problem. Now you can choose some default settings if you want. And finally, that's it. And this will create the recovery environment. And after the creation, your USB stick is created. And then you can start restoring your image files on different hardware, for example, without any problem.